Hey everyone, Sirturmund here again. And today I'm gonna kind of bring you a 4-in-1 video. And the reason that I'm doing that is because if you're watching this when it comes out, which is gonna come out Thursday night, we really only have about 5 to 6 days left on the ranked season, right? So for those of you who are still stuck in that border of like diamond to masters, platinum to diamond, gold to platinum, etc., and you want to make that last push, this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to tell you the 4 best decks in the current meta to climb with if you're trying to just push the next level of rank. And as you can see right here, is the 4 on the top here. So you have Fiora Pantheon, Lee Sin Akshan, Nami Lee Sin Twisted Fate, and Twisted Fate Swain. Without a doubt, these 4 decks are the top dogs of the meta right now. So in this video, I'm kind of going to go over all 4 of them and kind of give you 1 or 2 games, depending how long some of these games last, on each of these decks. I have posted videos on most of these decks as well. I know I have a video on Fiora Pantheon and on Nami Lee Sin, so I always link those as well. And for the decks that I don't have videos on, like Lee Sin Akshan and Twisted Fate, I'll also kind of give you some of the resources down in the description of other content creators you can watch to kind of learn how to pilot these decks better. Now, if you don't believe me about this top decks being like the top of the meta, just take a look at the stats, right? So we talked yesterday about using stats and all those eternal resources to your advantage. And you can see right here, right? Fiora Pantheon, Lee Sin, Nami, Twisted Fate, Swain are all clearly your S tier decks. Lee Sin Akshan is a little bit further below here, and honestly, the only reason that Lee Sin Akshan is not a better deck is because it loses to the Nami Lee Sin decks, right? But you kind of have this thing going right now where it's very clear that these decks are the top dogs. You do have some other decks that you can play like Swain Norra, Akshan Pantheon, Taric Poppy, but these decks are really just countering one of the top decks while still losing to the rest. These decks here are kind of like rock, paper, scissors each other, right? Where Lee Sin Nami is kind of like the top dog. It can beat all 3 of the other decks, so it's the one that I recommend if you know how to pilot that deck. But then you have Fiora Pantheon, which does well into Swain. You have Lee Sin Akshan, which does well into Fiora Pantheon and Swain. And then you have Swain, which kind of does well into like everything else that you might run across in the game. So enough of me rambling. Again, this is going to be kind of like a 4-in-1 video. You're going to get kind of 4 small deck breakdowns and just some gameplays regarding each one of these decks. So let's go ahead and get started, and we're just going to start right here from left to right. So Fiora Pantheon is a deck that I showcased in my channel a few days ago now. I think almost a week ago by the time you will see this. And it's a very straightforward deck, right? It's taking advantage of kind of the buff to Eula and the buff to Fiora to kind of go back to like this faded gameplay style. I believe the original person that kind of created this version of the list was Runeterra, so credit to them. And I'll link the video that I already have that has a longer breakdown and more gameplay with this deck. It's one of the best decks in the meta right now, and Majin Bay himself also took it all the way to rank 1 a few days ago. So again, really, really powerful deck. Now, the idea with this deck is kind of you're playing all these units, right? And all these different spells or equipment in terms of the lodestone that can target your units and trigger the Fade, as well as advance the Pantheon level of conditions. So it's actually pretty easy to level up Pantheon in this deck. And you have so much value here between the Go, the Broadwind, and even the Fiora to be able to challenge and kind of bring the opponent down and force it to have to start blocking. The Saga Seeker obviously becomes bigger and bigger as well as the game goes on. And then you have removal on top of that with single combat and Crusader Strike. And then you have your 2 win conditions, which are Fiora or Pantheon. So opponent has to worry about removing Fiora, but also has to worry about Pantheon coming down, which can come down with 5, 6, 7, or even more keywords. And then, if that's not enough, you have 2 other win conditions, which is Camphor, the Doubt, which can come down with Overwhelm, Expulsion, and Challenge, allowing you to push just that extra damage that you need. And the other one is going to be Orasi. So remember that the Lodestone is not only an equipment, but it can also become a unit, which is an 8 mana 7/7 with Spell Shield that can pass the supported stats to the opponent. What's kind of cool with Orasi, by the way, is that you can actually put Eula and give Orasi the Overwhelm, so that Orasi has both Overwhelm and Spell Shield, as well as your unit that gets supported also having the same thing. Or you can use Eula to give Spell Shield to Fiora or Pantheon to protect them from just dying to like the opponent's removal. So again, really, really fun deck. Really, really powerful right now in the current meta as well. It only gets held back by the fact that it's losing to Lee Sin Nami. and as well as Lee Sin Akshan. If it wasn't losing to the Ionia decks, this deck would be the deck that everybody will be complaining about, because it does really well into Swain, right? So let's jump ahead to some gameplay of this deck and go from there. In this matchup, we'll be going up against Pantheon Akshan. So it's going to be a Pantheon versus Pantheon matchup. I think this deck is actually kind of doing pretty well, all things considered. So I wonder, I'm curious to see how the opponent's going to do here. I like keeping the Fiora, and I like kind of keeping the Eula to give the Fiora spell shield, or maybe that's a little bit too greedy. I think I like the Pelka skin on the Mountain Goat. Obviously, the Mountain Goat gives us access to the gems, which ends up being really nice for us. What I'm going to do is that I'm actually going to play the Saga Seeker on turn 2, so that if the opponent has access to action, they cannot attack, right? Because then they lose to the Pelka skin. I guess they could have access to Shapestone, right? So they could have access to Shapestone. If they have the Shapestone, I think I'm always going for it. Alright, they don't go for it. So we cannot do the Harass instead. Like if they attack right here, I'm always blocking. I'm not gonna let them bluff the Shapestone. Opponent obviously doesn't have it though, so we're chilling. And we're gonna get the gem right here, allowing us to trigger the Pantheon level up condition again, as well as trigger the Faded. So opponent's in a tough spot now. We have the equipment as well, which will allow us to continuously be able to trigger the Pantheon level up. So we're going to be ahead of the opponent in terms of Pantheon level up. Now they could play... Okay. So they go for the spell shield. I'm still attacking here. I'm still always attacking here so that we can get the gem and trigger the Faded this turn. And just keep making the Saga Seeker as big as possible. So idea is that we're just putting the opponent in a very tough spot, that the pressure that we're able to put in on them. We can always trigger the Faded next turn by doing the second lowest turn. So again, this Saga Seeker is going to become bigger and bigger. It's going to have 6 health now. I want to make it so that this becomes a really great blocker that the opponent has to deal with. I wonder if it's actually better to do the Shepherd instead of the Lodestone. Like, I might actually want the opponent to not know that I have this Lodestone in my hand.
You like it? I mean, shut up and fight.
I think I like this. I think I like this instead. Oh, we get Scout? Yeah, perfect. I don't want the opponent to know that I have a second Lodestone in my hand. This is also something that the opponent's going to have to watch out for, right? Opponent still cannot attack here. Okay, I guess we get an action for free. I guess opponent decided that they need to do it now, because if they keep waiting, they're not gonna get anywhere, right? I'm surprised that they did that. I mean, with the action about to level up, but if they kept waiting, they wouldn't have gotten anywhere. So I guess I understand where the opponent's coming from. What we're gonna do here is that we're gonna go the Lodestone on the Saga Seeker. I know we're gonna lose the Scout, but I don't think we need the Scout necessarily. Because even if the opponent has access to a Strike here, I guess if they have access to a Strike, that would be really annoying. So maybe we do attack. Maybe we do attack with the Saga Seeker, right? So if the opponent has a Strike, okay, it's just gonna be Pantheon. So we go here. This is gonna be out of range of that Pantheon. Okay, never mind, because the opponent has access to this thing. Really? That's kind of annoying then. Because now it means that we cannot actually pull the Vagabond. Which makes sense. I guess they predicted into the Bloodletters. But I think we're still in a really good spot here. The opponent's Pantheon is a 3 out of 5. We need to get our Pantheon though, because opponent has kind of like the edge with their Pantheon over us. If they attack, they're losing to the... They're losing to the Fiora Repose, right? So what if we go like this? What if we just go here first and just go for the rally? Yeah, there's the Rally Negation. So the opponent just committed a Rally Negation here just to stop us from being able to like kill stuff. If the opponent attacks with Pantheon, all we do is just block with Saga Seeker and we're chilling. I wonder if I should just kill this Pantheon now. I guess we should, right? Because if we don't kill this Pantheon now, we're losing to... If we don't kill this Pantheon now, right? We're losing to the Pantheon level up. So, because the Pantheon is going to level up next turn, obviously the opponent's also going to get faded on it. So I think we have to commit the single combat right now. What I'm debating is if I actually need to keep the Fiora alive. And I think I'd rather keep the Fiora alive more than anything else. Because I think that Challenger is going to be more important. The downside is that now the opponent can just attack us for 5 here. So the opponent will be able to attack us for 5. But I like the idea of potentially threatening this Fiora level up. So I like the idea of this Fiora potentially leveling up and winning the game that way, right? I guess we can go here then, right? We do have this Fiora repose. I guess we could have also just committed the Fiora because we have a second one, but I actually like the repose in this matchup to be able to block their stuff, right? I also rather have... How does this work with Orasi? If we put the Scout on the Orasi, I don't think we get the Scout attack. Because the Scout attack triggers after, like, things have already happened. So... I think I'm just gonna go here anyways. I guess we can go here. Yeah, I guess we can go here. It doesn't give me any health, which could be a problem. But it's still good enough for what I'm looking to do. I need this Pantheon. Like, our Pantheon is ahead of theirs, but not in a good spot just yet. We could put the... Let's go here. Let's go Orasi. That gives me a blocker against anything that the opponent wants to do. We do tap out of the repose now, though, which can be a little bit annoying. Because the opponent could have predicted into the strike. Okay, no, they just predicted into their second Pantheon, right? So we don't get a single Pantheon, they get 2. But I guess they have predicted, so I can't complain. They do have the prediction and everything else. They get Spell Shield, Quick Attack, Lifesteal. Okay, this is actually not bad. They don't get Challenger, they don't get Elusive. So no Challenger, not Elusive, means that we can actually pull with Fiora and actually be able to kill this Pantheon. Bad concern is if the opponent has a strike. So if the opponent has a strike, that could be really problematic. Okay, so we're gonna take a ton of damage here from this Pantheon. Wait, opponent? Really? So, the problem with blocking with the Orasi is that then it means that we're not giving Fiora any health. So we're gonna lose our Orasi on our next attack, right? I think it's fine, right? Because we're just trying to kill this Pantheon. We have to just kill this Pantheon, right? Absolver loses to the Pale. We just need to kill this Pantheon. I think we just kill this Pantheon and we should be okay. Even if we have to sacrifice our Fiora, because we are going to have a second Lodestone. The problem is that we're going to be low on units. I guess we have the Guiding Touch as well. Do I greed it out? I think I greed this out. I think I go here and I go Camphor. I think I actually 100% greed this out. Because this thing is not a blocker, right? We go Camphor and that lets me actually potentially keep the Orasi alive. We can even keep Fiora alive as well. So, yeah, we're definitely gonna kill this Pantheon. Okay, so opponent is down to just a single card, so we can go here. Let's just level up this Fiora because we have the chance to. I don't think we tap out of Guiding Touch. I would love to though. I would love to tap out of Guiding Touch. So we pull. We're gonna have to let go of Fiora no matter what. The Orasi is gonna stay alive. And that should be enough to kind of keep us going. Do I play this? I don't want to play this Lodestone, right? So we're gonna let go of Fiora. We're gonna let go of Fiora. I guess what I need to watch out for is single combat. I mean, sorry, quicksand, right? So I need to watch out for quicksand. So I think I'm gonna go like this. Oh wait, that's the wrong one, because yeah. I need to sorry, I need to do it like this no matter what, right? So I need to do it this way no matter what. We let go of the Fiora. Fiora already leveled up, so we have a second Fiora here that can take advantage of it. I just want to make sure that we play around quicksand. So by putting this way, we play around quicksand, we still keep our Harassy alive, as well as keep our Camphor alive. And even though we're at 4 HP, the only way that we lose is at third Pantheon, right? At third Pantheon, rolling... Actually, it needs to be third Pantheon with Challenger or with Elusive, right? They do get the Harassy, and they also get the Solani here. But I think we have enough blockers for those Overwhelm units that I don't think it's going to be a problem. So if they play Solani, we're still fine with 4 HP. They still have to kill a unit here, right? We can play Eula if we wanted to, and just give this Overwhelm. We're still gonna be at 4. We're still gonna have to do Guiding Touch, right? So we're gonna do Guiding Touch, and we lose to a Pale Cascade. So I really don't want to sacrifice Fiora, but we might have no choice but to sacrifice Fiora here. Ideally, I don't want to sacrifice Fiora, but we have a second Harassy, and I don't want to have to use my Guiding Touch just yet. Like, I really don't want to use my Guiding Touch just yet. So I think we go like that. Like, we can even put the Lodestone on her, just to save even more damage. I think this is correct, right? That way, if the opponent has a Shapestone, it's still not enough. We go here, here. Then we play Broadwind, we play Eula, and we're gonna have Overwhelm and Spell Shield on like all our units. Do we want to experiment with the Rake and how that works? Again, I don't believe it works, but opponent doesn't have Rally, so I'm not too concerned about this. For opponent to play Solani, they will have to kill their second Solani, so they don't have access to the thing either. Let's go ahead and put Overwhelm on here. By putting Overwhelm here, we transfer the Overwhelm to the second Solani. Alright, so they're gonna play their own Harassy next turn. That's why they transfer it that way. But I don't believe that's gonna be enough anyways, because we're so much wider than them. We can even just drag, the blocker away. So we go like this, and this should be enough. Everything has Overwhelm. Everything has Overwhelm, which means that... And Overwhelm and Spell Shield, which means that even if the opponent blocked with the Solani, it will still be 19 damage, and that's game. We didn't get Pantheon, right? We didn't get Pantheon, but you can kind of see how good Harassy is in this type of deck, right? Just kind of put so much pressure that the opponent cannot deal with it. And you saw the combo there with Eula into the Harassy, giving all the cards Overwhelm as well, which is one of the reasons that I like it as well. So, GG's. Again, I do have a lot more games on this deck on the video, which I'll link below as well, so you can check that out. In this matchup, we'll be going up against Swain Twisted Fate. So this is a favorable matchup for us, as we've seen in the stats. I really like keeping the Concerted Strike. Fiora this early doesn't seem amazing, because obviously it means that she will die to like a Flock and stuff. Maybe the Concerted Strike this early is also not good, because I want to be able to kind of trigger the Fate. Maybe we go like this. Maybe we do keep the Fiora. We go Saga Seeker. Chambers is actually really nice, because we can put on the Fiora to prevent her from taking too much damage. And we ended up with the Concerted Strike anyways, right? Let's pass. I'm going to play Saga Seeker on turn 2, in case that we had like a Pale Cascade. We could have used it to draw. We ended up not getting it though, so I guess it's fine. I kind of want to put the Chambers on the Fiora, but I also feel like I should just go ahead and put the Chambers on this right now, just so that we can start leveling up the Pantheon, right? So this will allow us to level up the Pantheon, as well as obviously make our Saga Seeker stronger and stronger every turn. Good thing we did that, because we ended up joining the Pantheon. I'm going to go ahead and just do the single combat right now, just so that we can trigger the Pantheon level up. It's not a great single combat by any means, but it's also not horrible. If the opponent did a Flock right here, I would have been completely okay with that. Let's go Fiora. Because if we can bait out a flock on the Saga Seeker, that's better than a flock going into one of our other units later on. So we go here. The question here is, do we commit the single combat on the Twisted Fate? I don't know if we do. I don't know if we do just yet. I know it's gonna slow down our Pantheon. It's kind of annoying that we're not getting any like spells or anything like that. So it is kind of slowing down our Pantheon a little bit. But I feel like this single combo is gonna be better off used later, right? So sure. Heavy metal. Like at this point, I feel like I need to keep my removal, right? I need to be able to keep my removal if I need to. Double heavy metal. I'm surprised about that. I'm actually super surprised about that. Oh, perfect. So we get the go. That's actually huge because I want the gems so that I can start triggering my units here. Opponent's gonna go for the guillotine. That's why they did that earlier, the way that they did. I guess we can just go here then. Opponent's gonna try to kill this one and then do the guillotine again to kill my last unit, right? So they're gonna kill all our units here, which is okay with me because I feel like I'm gonna just play Pantheon. So they set up that guillotine pretty well, right? They got all our units to be removed. They got 3 kills out of that. I think I'm just gonna go Pantheon. I'm gonna put the gem on it. That way, if we get the Eula, I can put the spell shield on the Pantheon right away, and I can start working on the faded triggers on Pantheon. We still have access to Concerted Strike, allowing me to potentially kill a Swain. And there we go. So we go here. This lets me kill the Swain because he goes to 6 attack. Opponent shouldn't have anything for 2 mana that can level up that Swain, and we get to trigger the Faded anyways. Disciple, interesting. Opponent's playing a very interesting version of their list. I like keeping the Guiding Touch. I like keeping the Guiding Touch to bait out a flock. Right? So let's say that the opponent goes for a flock right here. There we go. Now the opponent's going to have another card that they need. Otherwise, the Guiding Touch gets cancelled, and we still level up the Pantheon anyways. I didn't feel like playing the Guiding Touch without actually baiting out the flock if I didn't need to. And because we got tough, it doesn't even matter. There we go. So the opponent just lost their flock like that for no reason. We have the Rally, which I feel like is going to be worth the using once the opponent plays the Levy right here. Alright. What is the opponent playing? I'm so confused about the opponent's deck. But what I don't want to do is I don't want the Nakaboros to stay on the field long enough to actually summon the tentacles. So I think it's correct to just rally right now. I have Challenger and Quick Attack anyway, so I can kill the Nakaboros no problem. And the Fury is going to make our Pantheon go a little bit higher, and there you go, we win the game. So we didn't get the Spell Shield, we didn't get Elusive, but we still got Quick Attack and Challenger, and that's enough to kind of put fear in the opponent's eyes. So hope you enjoyed that game of Pantheon, Fiora Pantheon. You can kind of see what I'm talking about, how this deck just wins with Voracity, Pantheon, or Fiora, whichever one you get, and makes this deck very, very powerful. Not a lot of decks can actually handle the power that this deck is putting out. The next deck that I'm going to suggest is going to be Lee Sin Akshan. So let's kind of jump right in here. Now, one of the benefits of Lee Sin Akshan is that it does really well into Fiora and also does well into Swain. The deck that it really loses to is going to be more Namie, right? Namie and obviously some Demacia, Rally decks, etc. Now, this version of the list is the one that I found that had like the highest win rates, but you can kind of see it has a lot of one-ups, so you can try different lists and kind of see what people are playing. Just wanted to kind of showcase this list here just because I saw it had the highest win rate. Obviously, Tailstones, Momentous Choice is so good at leveling up your Lee Sin really quickly. Bloodletters is just there to kind of get you to level up your action quicker. You have the Warlord's Palace, the Warlord's Whore. Also enables your Momentous Choice, Rider Callings for your champions. Treasure Seeker for some early blockers. Disciple for draw. Woodger Style, great way to level up Lee Sin as well. Hookmasters, Add the Dragon, Action, really good early units. Notified and Denies to protect ourselves. Sonic Wave, 2 spell triggers. Absolver, the way that you can give your Lee Sin Overwhelm and be able to just finish up games. Vagabond to kind of advance to Warlord's Palace even more. Concussive Pulse to defend ourselves against others, like against Swain or Fiora or Pantheon if they want to drag our units. 1 Supercharged because I like to be cheeky. to the meditation for some spell just once at a time to get to our Warlord's Palace or Warlord's Horde trigger, and then obviously the triple Lee Sin. Very, very good deck. Again, if you're looking for a deck to climb with, this is one of my suggestions as well. So let's kind of jump right in and see some of the games that we get with this deck. In this matchup, we're going against Taric Poppy. So this is actually one of our bad matchups. Oh, I like the Sonic Wave though. I think the Sonic Wave is going to be really good. I don't think I like the Vital Calling this early. So I like the Sonic Wave because it potentially lets me pull a Taric so that I don't have to play around the rally as much, right? This is still going to be pretty awkward though. This is still going to be a tough game. Now, if the opponent plays Fleet Feather here, I think I might actually just sacrifice the Disciple. I think it's worth it. If the opponent attacks right here, I think I'm taking that trade. We're trying to slow them down, right? So the way that you beat this matchup is by kind of slowing them down, stopping them from being able to get to their game plan. And the way that we do that is by preventing them from having too many units. Now, they still get the Brow Wind, which is a little bit annoying, but our Chime Wind was going to die regardless. We get a great blocker, right? So we get a great blocker here because the opponent cannot just pull that with the Protege. So they have to make a choice here. They have to make a choice. They push 3 damage and then just take damage on the Protege, and they decide not to attack whatsoever. So I'm chilling. Now here, we pass. So we pass because the opponent is going to want to play Taric or Poppy. They end up not playing either of them. So I actually wonder if I should Sonic Wave. I don't think this is what we Sonic Wave, right? Because we can just Sonic Wave in a future turn once we have Lee Sin on the field. Now, this is very annoying. So these guys are very annoying. I'm not gonna deny that. I wonder if I should kill their challengers. I wonder if I should actually kill their challengers. So what I'm guessing is that next turn I'm gonna have to. Yeah, honestly, I like killing his Protege. I like killing the opponent's Protege, right? Just have one less challenger that the opponent has available for them. Again, just in the goal of trying to slow them down. I'm pretty sure next time they're going to play the 5-drop, and we're just going to have to stun it. Because obviously we can't let ourselves die to that 5-drop. That's actually not bad, the Wuju style either, because it gives us obviously blockers. So the 5-drop is going to be able to support their cards way too much for us to really be comfortable with that. So that's why I'm saying that we're gonna have to stun it right away. That is not okay. Well, I think I just played Lee Sin. We have Wuju style to trigger our Lee Sin, allowing us to kill their challenger, right? So we just play Lee Sin here. Usually they don't run like single combats or anything like that, but just to be safe, I probably just put the health on the Lee Sin as well, just so that we don't have to play around it. Opponent even. I guess if they have a single combat, right? If they have like a single combat, then they are able to just like they might have single combat, right? They might have single combat as attack against Swain. So I think we go here. I think we just go here. And we go like this. I guess honestly, if they have single combat, it doesn't matter, right? We block that 6 damage. If they have single combat, their units are dead. They're only doing 3 and they still lose the battle. Yeah, so single combat doesn't do anything. And then this Lee Sin is about to level up anyways. So opponent's gonna be in trouble here very shortly. I'm gonna pass. So I'm gonna pass again and see if the opponent plays like a Taric, right? If they play a Taric, then we were gonna pull the Taric. So by passing, I forced the opponent into like a really awkward spot that they kind of had to deal with. I do like the idea of predicting here. I do need some units, right? Deny protects us against the rally, but I don't think I'm actually scared of the rally. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and summon my action and start working on that Warlord's Horde. Because I'm not really concerned about the rally on the Taric because we have access to Concussive Palm to just stun their units. Opponent also didn't buff up their elusives last turn, so I haven't even taken a single point of damage. They're gonna just try to kill Akshan here. which, you know, makes complete sense to me. But I mean, does that even matter to us? We literally just gonna OTK them next turn, by the way. Like, we're literally gonna OTK them next turn with the Absolver. All right. Yeah, because I already triggered the Absorber by leveling up the action, so I don't need to actually have this, right? And here we go. So now this is when you're gonna get, this is where it gets pretty nutty. Wait, this is actually kind of crazy. We could actually trigger the Warlord Sword if we wanted to, but I don't think we need to. And here we go, just Lee Sin shenanigans. This is already 7. This is 10, and this is gonna be exactly 20 damage. Because Lee Sin is Lee Sin, right? Just casually do 20 damage just like that. We go here. I don't even think I kill the Challenger, to be honest. I think I go for the Elusives just in case that the opponent has like a way to like... Okay, there we go, like just like that. We don't have enough here, but we do have enough for this. To get rid of the Spell Shield. So we do have enough for the stun, get rid of the Spell Shield, and still pushes 20. Because technically the Sands of Time will remove the Spell Shield, but we didn't have enough mana for it. It was to get a 10 by the opponent, but even in an unfavorable matchup, all we need to do is just stall them long enough. And again, what you want to do is make it very awkward for the opponent to develop their Taric or their Poppy. So you saw all those times that we kept passing with like full mana on our attack. It's just so that the opponent doesn't have a chance to develop it, because then they get punished by the Sonic Wave or the Lee Sin challenging them. So GG's. In this matchup, we'll be going up against Fiora Pantheon. And now, this matchup should be favorable for us. We also get action on 1. Let's keep the Disciple. See if we can just get Lee Sin right away. We don't get the Lee Sin, but we do have the Disciple, which will let us draw. And we also have the action, which will also kind of let us start advancing the Warlord's Palace right away. So it's not a bad hand, and we even have the Homecoming. Oh, we get the Lee Sin as well. Yeah, this hand is nuts, and we have Absolver. So now all we need to do is just, you know, trigger our, level up our Lee Sin, right? Now, what I will do is that I'll go action here, right? And this is gonna force the opponent to have a 2-drop or a 1-drop. So there's one problem here. If we attack, opponent can have Chambers, right? I kind of feel like I should play around the Chambers. Because if I don't play around the Chambers and opponent has it, then it's just giving them a chance to be able to actually, like, target one of the units this time. Which I don't like the idea of that, right? They would have gotten the Chambers off, and then they also would have just gotten the... Now the question here is, do I actually block this? I don't think we do. I don't think I like the block there. I know we're giving them a lot of access, but I actually don't think the block is necessary. Kind of like the Pot of Pain over the Fitsum 500. I don't mind having a unit that has a decent number of health, and we can always transfer that over to action if we need to. I kind of want to leave the action alive to potentially level up the action, right? We do play... We play stuff that can take advantage of an action being leveled up. And leveling up action will always also enable the Absolver, which is another reason why I like it. Now that we have access to like Wujustan and stuff, I think I can attack with both. Because I beat the Chambers, right? Okay. I could have gone for the Shaman Wing, but I feel like I needed to have enough mana for both Absolver and the Shaman Wing. So again, this is just trying to force stuff out of their opponent. So they just did a Sharp Side here. We baited out the Sharp Side as well, so it's gonna make the Shaman Wing feel a little bit better earlier, which is always nice. I will hate the fact that I will hate using Absolver here, but I think I might have to. I think it's more important to leave that action alive than it is to do anything else. So we have 2 other Absolvers in our deck anyways that we could potentially get. I guess opponent could have a single combat here, but then that means we baited out. Yeah, we baited out like a ton of stuff out of them, right? And we still get the strike from the action. So we're still gonna be able to trigger this pretty shortly. So we baited out 3 spells out of the opponent, which means that it's less stuff that can deal with Lee Sin later on. We don't have to worry about one single combat, and we got the second Absolver anyways now. We could also just go for the Rattle Calling here.
You must die.
What do we do? What if we go Rattle Calling here? If we get action, that means that we level up the action. Otherwise, we get a second Lee Sin, and that's also fine with me. If the opponent passes here, I'm willing to pass back. Sure. I'm cool with that. I'm absolutely cool with that. Question here is, I think it's too early for the Lee Sin. I think I'd rather do the action. That lets me level it up, and because we have the Sonic Wave, we can just pull that Fiora, which is always nice. We have a second Absolver that we could use. We can put the equipment on the action. Alright, so hear me out. I do have to be worried about Concerted Strike, but if the opponent uses Concerted Strike here, then it's one less Concerted Strike that we worry about later. We can go Pot of Pain. And maybe we can go for the +1 instead. That way we can just drag that Fiora and play around like a Sharp Side or a Pell. Oh, he's just gonna rally? That's a little bit unfortunate. We can go for the Absolver, I guess. Problem is that doesn't give us a way to actually kill that Fiora. We can also just recall it. We could also just recall it. If we go with Absolver, opponent will not be able to attack, right? While we still keep our thing alive. But I don't think Absolver is correct. I think we're just gonna recall it. I think we're just gonna recall and replay the action. Oh, we can just palm now, right? So now we can just palm instead. And their rally becomes useless. And now we just get to attack with action anyways. Alright. Ended up working out with the palm. I think it was a little bit of a greedy rally from them, to be honest. I'm gonna go ahead and attack with the Tail of the Dragon anyways. I don't mind the opponent blocking this. Actually, probably was better to keep this behind, right? That's a good target for the Tailstone. So that was a slight misplay on my part. That would have been a really good target for the Tailstones. We get the Lee Sin now. Lee Sin is going to be leveled up pretty quickly. If we go here, I mean, I guess we have the Sonic Wave. I actually like it. I'm going to go like this. Opponent will have to have a second single combat. And we have a second Lee Sin anyways. This lets me get the barrier on the Lee Sin. If the opponent attacks with Fiora, the Fiora is going to die, no matter which one the opponent pulls here. Sure. Especially now. So no matter which one the opponent pulls here, it's going to die. And then we can just kill Pantheon next turn before the opponent gets to level of the Pantheon. Alright, cool. So there is one problem, right? If I block with Lee Sin and the opponent has a second single combat, then the Lee Sin is gonna die because the opponent can single combat after. So I don't think we actually go ahead and do that. Not only that, but now we're also gonna have access to to the Warlord's Horde next turn. So I really don't see how the opponent's gonna win this anymore. Because we're literally gonna get access to Spell Shield to protect ourselves against any shenanigans that the opponent might have. And we have the second Absolver. Opponent loses their Fiora. And now we're fine. Is it better to go for the... Is it better to go... Is it always Absolver? I mean, opponent doesn't have... Like, Concerted Strike doesn't do it. Right? So, Concerted Strike doesn't do it. Because we're going to have the barrier. So, opponent will have to have both single combat plus Concerted Strike. And they're digging for it. So, is it actually just... the draw 2? Is it just the draw 2 or do we go for the spell shield? Is it draw 2 or do we go for the spell shield? I kind of like the draw 2, to be honest. I kind of like the draw 2. Yeah, I kind of like the draw 2 instead. I think we have enough to protect against a... Like, it has to be like concerted plus single. And that's still not enough anymore because now we have access to momentous choice. So we just go here, Absorber. Absorber. Do I want to draw? Sure, let's draw. That gives me a target for Homecoming if I need to. And that should be game. I guess technically single combat on the Lee Sin means that the Pantheon also dies anyways, right? Opponent could also potentially get Spell Shield here, which is gonna stop the kick, but it still keeps the Pantheon dying, right? So if the opponent gets Spell Shield here, the Pantheon still dies. So the Pantheon still dies, and I think we're fine with this trade. We could technically go for... We could technically go for the Hellstones, right? In Homecoming. Is that worth it? I think we take it. I think we take the chance. I mean, I guess opponent again could still have access to a Concerted Strike, potentially. Single combat also does it, right? Protects their Pantheon. I think there's too many answers the opponent has, right? Between single combat and concerted, that I'd rather just take my draw here and just play slow. We have the Solani. I mean, sorry, we have the Solani that we can just play next turn. And we have a Palm plus, yeah, we're never gonna die anymore, right? Solani costs 5 this turn, unfortunately. Opponent has the Orasi, which is what they're going to try to go for. So they're going to try to go for the Orasi and make this card really big. But again, it's not really going to be a big deal because we have a really great blocker here with Lee Sin. That's going to have 10 HP and have Barrier. Opponent cannot give two of the units that overwhelm, only one of them. So yeah, I think it was fine to just take the trade, let the Pantheon die, and kind of chill from there. We can even go Walking Sands here. That allows me to have something to block the Solani. The Horasi, sorry. While we still have Lee Sin to block the Eula afterwards. Alright. So I'm actually not gonna kill this Eula. I don't want to kill this Eula. I could kill her with Momentous Choice, but I don't think it's actually correct. And the reason I don't want to kill the Eula is because we want a target that we can pull with Lee Sin next turn. Right? So, if the opponent keeps the Orasi on the field, and as the only unit, then we don't have a unit that we can target with Lee Sin because the Orasi has Spell Shield, which obviously stops the attack, right? Remember, we lost the Absolver, so we no longer have Overwhelm. Yeah, we go here, right? We just go Solani and have Overwhelm here. We can still save the Lee Sin even through a single combo because we have another spell that we can give it. And we're chilling. So this should be fine now. That way, again, like I talked about, we can pull the Eula. I guess the only downside here is that the Solani will die to a single combat. But that's the only way that the opponent will be able to stop the Lee Sin from kicking it. We go ahead and do Sonic Wave. Pull here, we pull here, and that should be game again. And the Solani goes right back to our hand, so we can literally play her again, which is why this the Bloodletters can be really good in this deck, right? Opponent has been holding on to this card like all game. And I'm guessing that has to be like a Concerted Strike or a single combat. if I'm doing the hand read. Because they, yeah, there we go. Oh, it's a third guiding touch? Oh, that's not enough. Yeah, there we go. So you gotta be careful about that, right? Lee Sin cannot pull the unit that has Spell Shield. So just be mindful of that when you're trying to pull something and the opponent plays Arasi. But you're gonna see how accurate you can make the turns with the opponent against the Pantheon Fiora deck, and why Akshan Lee Sin is a really good choice against Pantheon Fiora. Moving on to the next deck that I recommend you climb with in this last 5 or so days is gonna be Nami Lee Sin TF. Now, without a doubt, this is the best deck in the meta, and probably one of the best decks in Legends Runeterra history altogether. If you haven't seen this deck, which I'm sure you all have, obviously it's playing Nami, 2 Lee Sin, and I like the idea of 1 Twisted Fate. I know some people have gone to 3 Lee Sins, but I like 1 Twisted Fate just to kind of keep opponents honest, right? The opponent has to play around red card, around gold card, because they never know when you might have that 1 of Twisted Fate. But anyways, this is more like an elusive deck, right? You can win. You usually win through your Shelly, Burblefish, and even the Disciple just getting really big because of the Nami buffs. But also Lee Sin himself can just become a really big threat that can get really strong with the Nami buff and kind of go from there. On top of that, you just have a bunch of different spells and defenses with the Tailstones that count as 2 spells, a lot of health buff. You get a lot of like random 1-cost spells from Coral Creatures and Burblefish that can sometimes pull off some crazy wins. A lot of blockers with Hookmaster and Double Trouble, as well as Coral Creatures. We even have a Bilgewater Mystic Shot here with the Heavy Metal, and Palms, Denies, Sunjoy with Anakaboros. This deck has everything. So I have a video specifically for this deck, and this is actually the deck that I used this season to get all the way to top 10 in Masters. So I have I really recommend this deck if you're looking to climb. Now the games are gonna be a little bit slower, but I feel like most decks in this meta are slow decks anyways. We don't have like any crazy tier 1 aggro decks. So, you know, it's fine to play this in my opinion and try to climb, because you're just gonna have a crazy win rate with it. But anyways, let's jump right ahead to some example games of how this deck works out. In this matchup, we'll be going up against the Mirror. It said that the opponent is not playing a single TF. They're just going to go ahead and play just triple Lee Sin, which, you know, can't blame them for it. Now, in the Mirror, you want to keep the Disciple, right? Because at the very least, either you get the advantage from having your Disciple, or you're able to block the opponent's Disciple, especially with the opponent having the attack token on 1. We want to keep the Disciple to be able to block. Usually the way that you win this Mirror is going to be through actually Armor Shelly more than anything else, but also Lee Sin also helps a lot. Unfortunately, we don't have Lee Sin or Shelly, so that's a little bit annoying. But you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. By keeping the Disciple, we stop the opponent from having their own Disciple value on turn 1. So, you know, we just take this trade because we don't want it to draw, and we kind of go like that. We both didn't get to advance our Nami this time. Now, our hand looks a little bit worse than what I would like to see in the Mirror. So I'm a little bit scared that this matchup is not going to go too hot for us. Heavy Metal is not bad, right? Because we can play Heavy Metal this turn if we need to. I'm going to pass. If the opponent wants to play slow, I'm also willing to play slow, right? Anakaboros. You know what I'm going to do? I'm thinking I'm going to go Twisted Fate. I'm actually going to go Twisted Fate. And just get the blue card, because I need the draw. I need the draw more than anything else. This gets my Nami to 4. Their Nami is going to be 1 ahead of us. Their Nami is going to be a 5. But we do have enough. We have enough attunes here that I don't think it's a big issue. And we'll also not get to threaten a potential Twisted Fate level up if we get like the Anakaboros to come down the field for us. The downside is that by playing the TF this early, the TF becomes really vulnerable to like Lee Sin, right? Or anything else that the opponent might have. That's an interesting pass. That's a very interesting pass. I'm gonna go Coral Creatures first. We still have access to Palm, which lets me stun a Lee Sin, right? If the opponent tries to pull this. Okay. Let's go here. Shimon Wind. They're gonna use Recall. That's actually not a bad Recall for them, by the way, because he lets them resummon it, and now they're gonna be ahead of us on the Nami level up by like a good chunk. right? So they're gonna be pretty far ahead of us in the Nami level up here because their Nami's already leveled up as soon as they play Nami with like any spell mana open, while we're still pretty far behind. Now, so you can see here, this TF actually is gonna have a really good chance of just leveling up. We have enough with Anakaboros to actually level up. Oh wow, another, they got double recall from coral creatures, are you serious? So they actually do get to level up Nami here. Wow. But I think we're actually not in a bad spot whatsoever. Like, we're actually not in a bad spot whatsoever. So I don't hate the coral creatures. I'm sorry, I don't hate the Anakaboros into coral creatures. That will get our own Nami leveled up, right? And I like the idea of potentially threatening like more draw here. The problem here is that we are very close to overdrawing, so we gotta be a little bit careful here, but we have plenty of blockers like this. Nami's leveled up, so Nami can come down on the field next turn. And Twisted Fate is gonna level up 7. This will be 8. Yeah, I mean, we're very close to leveling up Twisted Fate. Opponent has to deal with this Twisted Fate right now. But if they don't have Lee Sin, then they don't really get to kill Twisted Fate. The only downside is that we do have a lot of units, which means that our Nami buffs are going to be spread out a little bit more than I would like. If opponent doesn't play Lee Sin here, then this is going to be a level of Twisted Fate every single time. Wow. Ah. You know, I kind of like just doing this. I kind of like just throwing up my level up Nami right here. I kind of like throwing up this level of Nami here and force the opponent to have to do something. Again, I'm not scared of the Lee Sin because we have access to stun to stop the Lee Sin from actually pulling our units. Like, opponent has to play Lee Sin and commit, you know, the spells to actually be able to kill it. The fact that they haven't played Lee yet tells me that they actually don't have the Lee. So what they're looking to do is probably have to kill this Twisted Fate somehow. And the only way to do that's going to be that. Okay, so they do have the Lee Sin. Now, is there a way for them to level up this Lee Sin? Momentous Choice gets into 5. Second Momentous Choice gets into 7. So they will have to have... They will have to have double Momentous Choice plus a Wuju style, right? So they will be using... Is that something that we can put them on having? And if they have that, we can always just go for the Tailstones. So I don't think we have to worry about anything. Like, they don't have a way to kill... They don't have a way to kill us here, right? Because they have to... The only way that they play around the palm... Okay, so that's the Momentous Choice, right? The only way they play around the palm is to level up Lee Sin before they attack.
My lands need me. Center your spear.
Otherwise, they just get punished by the palm right here. Cool. So cool. So now we put the palm here. Opponent doesn't have a way to kill this. That's a desperate Nami ebb and flow, by the way, which would have just died to Momentous Choice anyways. By the way, I think it's actually correct for us to play the second Disciple here. I think it's actually correct for us to play the second Disciple here. Now, I have to be a little bit careful. Yeah, okay, there we go, yeah. I do have to be a little bit careful here that we don't overdraw. So this is going to take us up to 10 cards. Opponent's obviously going to have a way to kill this one of these Disciples, but this is going to level up. I mean, Twisted Fate is going to be leveled up regardless, right? So this levels up Twisted Fate. We go Shaman Wind. This gets me there. We have Nami. And now we have our level of Twisted Fate. The problem is that it still dies to the Lee Sin, right? Still gonna die to the Lee Sin. So what we have to look for now is just look for a lot of draws. I like the scout for later, for when we eventually draw our Okay, nice. So momentum show. I mean, we don't have to really do anything here. I need to draw that. I need to draw our Lee Sin, right? For us to have an advantage here, I need to draw Lee Sin. This, I mean, we can stop because any spell that we do is gonna buff this first. I'm just trying to see what the best way to do is gonna be. I might actually go for the Nami Ebb and Flow because it's the only one that I really feel like I should use right now. So we can go here.
I'm a people person.
We have too many cards in our hand. I really need Lee Sin, right? Without Lee Sin, it's going to be a little bit problematic. Without Lee Sin, it's going to be a little bit... I want to just trigger the gold card, right? Just kind of threaten this Shelly. So I really wanted to trigger that gold card, is my thought. Now, opponent has to just open attack right now because otherwise their Lee Sin gets stunned, right? What we can do is that we can always just swap to protect our Twisted Fate, which plays around the opponent having access to... An opponent also messed up here, by the way, because now their Shelly's gonna die because the card that gets buffed next is gonna be the Tentacles, not the Shelly. So the way to save the Shelly against Rekka was to keep Shelly as the second weakest. Oh wow, okay, so this sucks now, right? Because now they can actually just drag both units. So they can drag our Elusive and as well as our Nami. So I guess we can go double Homecoming then, right? We can go double Homecoming and we're chilling. Yeah, I think that's fine. This also kills the Shelly like we talked about. Opponent goes for the... Ooh, wait, that's not a deny. They just wanted to keep the Shelly alive, right? They just wanted to keep the Shelly alive. We bounce back their Lee Sin. We get to replay Nami, and we're fine. The Shelly staying alive is kind of annoying, but not a big deal. This also kills the Shelly now, by the way, because the gold card is going to target the Shelly. That's why we didn't do anything until after. Is it better to just play Shelly here instead, then? Yeah, let's just play Shelly here instead. So this gold card kills their Shelly, then we can play Nami. Playing the Shelly makes us the most mana efficient. They're desperate. They're desperate to keep their Shelly alive, and there we go. Yeah, that one of Twisted Fate, right? That one of Twisted Fate can just put so much threat on the opponent, and that's why I like it. That's a perfect example why I like Twisted Fate in this deck. We didn't even win with Lee Sin this time around, so GG's. In this matchup, we'll be going up against Swain Norra. This matchup should be good for us. We have our Lee Sin. Honestly, I really like the Anakaboros. I really like the Anakaboros. I think it's such a good card to keep in almost every matchup. So I'm gonna get greedy because what Anakaboros. Okay, we ended up getting Nami, so we got a pretty crazy draw here. We got a pretty nutty draw right here. Question is, do we Disciple? I think we do. I think I like the Disciple. Force the opponent to have an answer here, whether it's Pokey Stick or anything like that. And then we can always Heavy Metal the Norra when she comes down on another turn, right? Because if the opponent goes Pokey Stick here, then that means that they don't have the mana for the Norra. Group Shot, okay. So Group Shot is a different punish, because now they are able to play the Norra, but they don't play it. So we still get to save the 2 mana to level up the Nami. Construct. I think it's better to do the Hookmaster. Oh, and we get the Overwhelm too? Cool. I think it's better to do the Hookmaster here. And then we can always just go Anakaboros. I think I need to keep the Heavy Metal for the potential Norra, right? Just so that we can kill her right away. Cool. We go like this. That still gets our Nami to 5. Let's just attack. We have a second Anakaboros, so I don't care about the opponent taking this trade. We lose the Lee Sin or the Shelly. It could have also been the Burblefish, by the way. Opponent could have gotten very unlucky there, but we ended up losing the Lee Sin, which is probably the worst one for us to have lost. Well, this is Aqua now, right? Because we don't actually have a way to stop this Swain, since we lost the Lee. This is very Aqua now. I think we actually go Shelly. And just take that 7. Or I guess take that 9. Because I think Shelly's gonna prepare us to potentially just be able to just completely outgrind them, right? The only downside here is that we don't have our leveled up stuff yet, right? So if we go like this, we're gonna have to do... Let's go here. Let's just create blockers because we don't have leveled up Namie yet, which is a big deal. I just want to create a blocker here, and we have the momentous choice now, so that also works. I want this Swain to be a little bit awkward. Now, opponent can just go ahead and try to kill the Shelly. Now that we tapped out of a health pot, right? They could have the answer here. They could have a spell plus the flock. And we tapped out of the health pot to be able to counter that flock. But I mean, we kind of don't have a choice, right? We kind of were put in a spot where we had to do it. But we're in a position as well now where literally we can potentially just win through Namie and Burblefish by itself. Okay, so opponent doesn't actually have the way to kill the Shelly then, huh? It's really risky for the opponent to attack with the Swain, by the way, because they could potentially just lose the Swain, which they will to the momentous choice. Yeah, okay, so now the opponent is definitely just losing next turn, right? They cannot attack here. They cannot attack here because they will literally lose the Swain to the Shelly plus Namie combo. And this is when it gets really awkward for the opponent. The opponent's gonna have to hope that they can beat us in the next couple of turns with the Swain plus Leviathan combo. But we can always just recall that Levy, right? Group shot? I mean, what if we just I mean, like, what is this group shot gonna do for them? Like, what is this group shot doing for them? I also don't hate the idea of putting, like, the Fisher Whack on, like, a different unit, just so that we have another unit to attack with, aside from just Shelly. Like, that's really your play? That's really their play when you know that we have access to Tailstones. So now you lose a Swain for no reason, right? So now your Swain's lost, you don't get the 4 damage from the flock, and you're still losing to the momentous choice. Which actually makes me feel comfortable playing the Shelly here because we have access to momentous choice to be able to finish them off. That's no way, right? Wait, what? That's no way. Did they seriously just did this? Okay, so this is gonna buff this one first, then buffs this one again. So in order for us to kill this, we just go here. And we even keep our unit alive. So now we just get the Swain for free. And we have a bunch of elusives next time to just finish the game, right? Oh, they got both portals? Are you kidding me? They actually got both portals. That's kind of annoying. We go like this. Do I go for the lethal right now? What can the opponent do to stop this lethal? I guess what we should do actually is go ebb and flow first. Kind of like it. Yeah, because this is threatening the lethal already like this. And it still gives me access to deny or Tailstones if we need to, right? I don't think there's any way that the opponent beats this anymore with us having access to deny. It ended up working out for us to actually put the Overwhelm here. So that's pretty nice. Like, opponent will have to have Disintegrate, and that's still not going to be enough. I guess double Double stun could do it. I guess double stun does do it. And that's still never going to be enough because we have a second Tailstones, Pokey. Okay, so this just... So they did get the stun, so we just deny here. And that wins us the game because Shelly buffs everything up, so this doesn't even die to the spells anymore. And that's game. Yeah, this deck is unfair when you go against Swain. Like, look at this. We even lost Lee Sin again. Didn't get to win with Lee Sin. And we still just blow the opponent out because for usage. If you want to climb, this is my top deck that I recommend, but all the other ones that we're showing up today are also just as good, in my opinion. But they will lose to Namie, right? So that's why you have to make a decision which one you want to climb with. And to finish off, I'm gonna showcase a little bit of Twisted Fate Swain now. And Twisted Fate Swain is the 4th deck that I recommend to climb with, but I do think that is the weakest of the 4 decks that we're showing today. And the reason that I call it the weakest is because he loses to all 3 decks that we showed today. He loses to Nami Lee Sin, he loses to Akshan Lee Sin, and he also loses to Pantheon Fiora. But it does do well against almost everything else, right? It's a deck that's gonna do a lot better into, like, if you're seeing a lot of like Poppy Tarics, for example. This deck will smash a lot of them, right? You're kind of able to go a little bit more aggressive. But unfortunately, you know, the Homecoming Tailstones combo can just be a little bit too strong against this deck, and that's why it kind of ends up losing against Ionia. But it's still a really strong deck, and I know there's been a bunch of people that have hit masters with this deck. So if you want kind of like more faster games than the Ionia decks, if you're not a fan of Ionia or you're not a fan of Pantheon, then this will be my next solution for you. Now, this version of the deck, again, obviously just Swain and your Levy are the big key points. Leveled up Swain is just nuts because now it has Overwhelm. We do have one Red Tyrex here for potential comeback later on. Triple Draw, Twisted Fate can potentially level up between the Sap and the Anakaboros. And then you also have a bunch of like cheap damage spells or units. So Death Hand, Sentry for the stun, which can combine with the Flux. Marai Warden lets you go wide. Croaker and Watchful Idol both let you level up Swain, right? Remember, self-damage counts towards Swain level up. You have Make It Rain together with Dreadweight to potentially be able to remove the opponent's units. And Disintegrate is probably your best way to deal with like a Namie, for example, if you play it on the right time. So really fun deck. So let's kind of jump and kind of see how this deck works out in the current meta. I don't have a video on this deck, but I will link all the folks that have made videos on this deck. So see you all in a second. In this matchup, we'll be going up against Nami Fizz Twisted Fate. So what this is telling me is that our opponent is trying to test out a Fizz instead of Lee Sin because they want to play Lee Sin on like a Lee Sin action deck instead. So it's a strategy that people are doing for the seasonal where they're thinking that they want to play Lee action, but they also want to play Nami Ionia. So instead of playing just Nami Twisted Fate, they're playing Fizz in addition to it. Now, the problem with this hand is that Make It Rain gets countered by the Fizz, right? So I don't actually think that the Make It Rain is correct. I do like the idea of Twisted Fate here because Twisted Fate has the potential of leveling up, right? Oh wow, this is a hand that could potentially just level up Twisted Fate. This is a hand that can potentially level up Twisted Fate. So I'm just going to continue passing. And I know we're going to take a ton of damage here. Oh, that's such a good roll from them. That's such a good roll from them. Wow. They get a challenger? They get a challenger. Are you kidding me? I might have to do the Croaker. I think I have to do the Croaker how it is. I think I have to go for the Croaker like this. I don't think I can afford to take that much damage. I need to kind of stall out a little bit. Now, this is setting up for a really nice red card if we get it. But the opponent could easily have access to deny. Okay, they tap out of deny. So how do they beat this red card? How do they beat this red card here? Ha! They could try to keep this Fleet Feather Tracker alive and try to kill this Twisted Fate, and I'm okay with that. Wow. Okay, well, I mean, it might end up working out now, right? That also kind of gets us pretty far into the... That actually got us half the way, right? Wow, okay. That's half the way there. I'll take that. I absolutely will take that. Now, I do like the Anakaboros here. We can wait for the sap later. I'm kind of digging now, right? I'm kind of digging for answers. Attacking with Twisted Fate here could be a little bit greedy though, because we could lose to a couple things. I guess we actually we can always just flock this, right? We can always just flock this if the opponent tries to do a cheeky play. Another double trouble. Wow. Huh. Do we make it rain by now before the opponent has a chance to like buff these guys even stronger? I feel like make it rain is more important when we have access to disintegrate. Yeah, I think it's better to have make it rain plus disintegrate as a combo that the opponent's gonna have to deal with, right? Don't want to play the Dreadway now because the opponent can always just drag the keg. We get the Swain, which is about to be leveled up. Opponent didn't get their champion, so that's always nice for us. And we can just block everything else that the opponent does here, right? I don't hate the Swain. I don't hate the Swain because I don't want to do the sap just yet. I kind of don't feel like doing the sap just yet. So opponent's gonna have to have like a way to pull this Swain to really get me scared. I guess they could have easily gotten. They haven't played any like random spell stuff yet, right? Unfortunately, this Make It Rain has a high chance of missing the Nami. So I don't think it's actually correct. We have a better chance though once we get rid of their units. So we're gonna go here. Now the next one that gets buffed is gonna be this one, and then this one gets buffed second, right? Opponent could have Momentous Choice, but the Momentous Choice doesn't actually buff the Sparing Student. I'm willing to give up my Swain, and the reason I'm willing to give up my Swain is because the opponent's gonna have to have another spell here, and once they do their second spell, they're gonna be tapping out, right? They're gonna be tapping out of the way to protect this Nami. Now there is a chance. So what if we make it rain instead? There is a chance that we miss, right? There is a chance that we miss the Make It Rain. I think we always have to take it. We always have to take it. Is it better to make it rain? I think it's better to make it rain and then flock. No, because the flock works with the sentry. Yeah, I think we go for it. I think we go for it, and if they hit it, right? I mean, if we lose, it's a 75% chance of us hitting the Nami. Absolutely ridiculous. We lost the 75% chance. All right. It was a 75% chance of us hitting that Nami. So I think I always have to take that. I think I always have to take that bet, and just assume that the opponent's not gonna have a way to stop it, right? I mean, and just assume that we're gonna hit it, right? Now, what we can do here is that we can sentry and then flock the Nami. This plays around the Tailstones. I guess the opponent could still have access to the Tailstones though. Yeah, we're gonna lose our Twisted Fate, which is fine. I think I care more about killing Nami. That's so unfortunate. Opponent could have access to the Tailstones to recall or to save their Nami, but if they do that, then that's one less recall that we have to worry about for later. Nope. Instead, they ended up getting the Momentous Choice from the Burblefish, so that's a little bit annoying. How did we miss that 75% chance? What are the... Ah, that's so unlucky. That's actually so unlucky. We're still chilling though, I think. We're still chilling. That's a big boy. That's a big boy. So opponent's gonna be able to buff this card multiple times. We can go here. The Nami has no way to get buffed. So I think we always go like this. Yeah, we always just go like this. We play this. And then we can play Twisted Fate, and then we also have access to the Cannon Barrage next turn, because we can do Death Hand into Cannon Barrage. I like this red card. I like this red card because it's killing Namie and also killing half of their board, and then the Riptide Reds will get us there. I'm not gonna get over the fact that we missed a 75% chance of killing Namie. Yeah, they literally are desperate to get that. Okay, well, since they're gonna go ahead and do it this way, I don't know if we actually play Twisted Fate anymore. I guess we able to kill the Burble though, right? We killed the Burble by doing this. I think it makes sense. I think that Burble is the most scary card that they have. We can beat a second elusive because we have our own sap. And opponent is down to just 2 cards. The Overwhelm is a little bit annoying, but it's not like impossible for us to deal with. An opponent has to kind of block this, right? If I play the Death Hand first, it's very telegraphed that I'm gonna go for the Riptide Rats. I think I bait out some spells out of them first. I think I have to bait out some spells out of them, so if they have a way to protect that to the... Wow, so now we don't... Okay, wow, yeah, opponent just lost. They never play around the Riptide Rats. They never play around the Riptide Rats, which is amazing for us. Boom. They could try to save this Burblefish here. But they need to have like a lot of spells to save this Burblefish, right? Because we also have Death Hand to back up the kill. Because the Burblefish is just dying to the Cannon Barrage. They will need to have a lot of spells to save this Burblefish. Now at this point, the only thing I worry about is dying to an elusive. I guess we technically died to like the Overwhelm. So they're gonna try to save their Burblefish regardless. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work because now I guess actually it does buff this Nets, right? So that's gonna force the Death Hand out of us. That is gonna force the Death Hand out of us. So if they have a deny, they actually get there. Oh no. They had to wait. They had to wait. They had to wait. They can't deny anymore. The stack is full. So the stack limit is 9. So because the stack limit is 9, they're actually not able to deny. So they lose their Burblefish anyways. They saved their Nami, but they only have 1 card left. So one thing you gotta remember is that the stack limit is 9. If there's 9 fast speed spells or slow on the stack, then the only thing that you can do is burst spells. You can't do any more fast anymore. So now we have enough elusives that we're not worried about anything here. Okay, that's actually annoying. So remember when the opponent only had 1 card? Now they have 3. So remember when the opponent only had 1 card? Now they have 3 all of a sudden. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, and they're gonna have another one now. Yeah, cool. I could potentially get a Death Hand here. Make it rain also fine. Really? Really? They actually got like all the value here, huh? Now, I don't hate like, oh man, Nakaboros and Yubi Warren together. Sure. So we have enough mana to do Nakaboros plus Riptide Reds, right? Which is gonna put the opponent in an awkward spot one more time. Because they're gonna have to worry about the Riptide Reds. They're gonna have to block here. They could have their own Nakaboros though, which could stop our damage. So maybe we're forcing... Maybe we have to force the deny here, right? Maybe we're forcing the deny here instead and keep our elusive alive. Okay, no deny, no deny. So we go Riptide Reds then, right? We go Riptide Reds, that kills the whole board. Nami for some reason stayed alive. Wait for the opponent to react and then we can flock. The elusives are scary because the opponent has overwhelm as well. So even though we have an elusive blocker, we could potentially still lose to the elusives. But there's no way they have another momentous choice, right? Or another Wuju style, right? They have to run out of resources. Like, this deck is ridiculous. Like, we should be winning this matchup. But because the opponent just has so much value with Nami, Ionia, it just actually means that we're still in the back foot. Like, if the opponent had denied there or nullified, we would have been in a lot more trouble here. Of course, they actually have the second momentous choice. They actually have the second momentous choice. They are gonna have to block though, right? They are 1 HP, so they actually just lose anyways because they're not gonna have enough blockers. Because we can always flock. Like, even if this last card is a blocker, we can just flock. Unless it's Anakaboros into, like, Burblefish. Okay, so they just decided to deny instead. So they still lose then, right? Yeah, they still lose because we just flock. We just flock this card. Opponent goes down to 3 HP, and then we have 3 attackers with only 1 blocker. And opponent still has to block with Nami. So we got it. We got it. They actually didn't deny the Make It Rain for some reason. For some reason, they decided that denying the Make It Rain was a mistake. So opponent ended up kind of throwing the game at us. Because with Shelly and the other unit that they had and how our hand looks, they actually would have just won. I guess we have flock available, right? They had to block and then we could flock. But still, like, yeah. That deck is ridiculous. So GG's. In this match, we'll be going up against Fiersa. Don't think that the opponent has a great way to deal with us. But our hand is also not amazing, right? I like the Sentry. It's a fearsome blocker. Make It Rain is amazing. We have Sentry to stop like a fearsome attack while also having a blocker. And the Watchful Ladder is going to create another fearsome blocker while also leveling up our Swain. And our opponent didn't get a 1-drop, so that's also amazing for us. So we're just chilling now. Let's just push our 1 damage here. We can Make It Rain plus Disintegrate if we want to. I think the only thing I have to watch out for is going to be like level up Nocturne. Opponent also didn't get a 2-drop. Alright, so this is going to be like a non-game then, right? How's the opponent beating us? How is this opponent beating us? I guess they could have the fearsome here, right? So I think we just slow down their level up on the Nocturne and we're chilling. Wait, they're actually playing Twisted Tree Line. Opponent is crazy. Let's go here. Doesn't really matter, right? I guess let's go here, right? Because this is a better blocker. It's a better blocker than the Skittler is. The Skittler still dies to everything else. We can safely attack with everything, I think. I don't think there's any problem. Even if the opponent blocks here, it's not a big deal. Yeah, so opponent wants to keep this alive so that they can play the Cameron Dragon. Cool. Do we draw? I kind of like the draw. Because our hand is a little bit awkward right now. We still have Make It Rain plus Disintegrate, and we also have Sentry. So if we can get like a flock or something, I think it's better off for us. Opponent is still very far away from the Nocturne level up, so it could be very interesting here. Depending on what we draw. We also now is gonna have Swain. Opponent doesn't really have a great blocker for Swain. There's also a chance that we can just level up Twisted Fate, which if we level up Twisted Fate in this match, we just win the game. Okay, cool. We wait for the Skittler. There it comes. Now we go, I guess we go here. Yeah, we go here, allowing us to kill the Horror. This opponent will get to push 3 damage through anyways, but that's okay. And then we're chilling. Play the Fortune Croaker, giving us access to another progress towards TF. We have Sap as well. This is actually looking like a game where we might be able to level up Twisted Fate. I'm gonna actually just play Swain and just advance my Swain as well. I guess we can just go here. I don't care attacking with everything, because if the opponent takes damage, we can always just go make it rain, right? Okay, opponent decided to go. Alright. Let's make it rain right now. Let's make it rain right now. I like this make it rain right now so that we can already be able to block them if we need to. And it also kind of puts us more mana efficient, right? So then when the opponent goes and attack here first, or when the opponent develops, we can just make it rain again. So we can make it rain again, or we can flock. Regardless, it's gonna level up our Swain. What if we just make it rain? What if we just take this damage? What if we just take this 5 just so that we can play the levy? Because now Swain is gonna be leveled up. We play the levy. This actually takes our TF to 6 out of 9, and our natural draw takes us to 7, and then our stat takes us to 8, and we're gonna have a leveled up Twisted Fate by next turn. We just go here, and we win the game. How is opponent beating this? Their Nocturne is still 1 off. Yeah, they're digging. They're digging for an answer here, but I don't think there's anything. I guess they could technically have the silence. They could technically have the silence. Opponent actually has no blockers because my levy's gonna stun both of this. Yeah, okay. So my levy's gonna stun both of the Nocturne, and then this guy's not a blocker, so we just attack with everything, and that's gonna be game. And you're gonna see how nutty it can be when you can get Swain leveled up early and be able to have the levy stick. The only downside with this deck is Ionia being able to bounce back her levy agent. So, GG's. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed those games. Again, I tried to do a little bit of a breakdown and at least try to include 2 games with every one of these decks. I'm gonna post below more links and obviously all the deck codes for all 4 of these decks, and more links to like different videos, both for myself and other content creators that could help you learn these decks. But really, any one of these 4 decks is strong enough to take you from gold to platinum, platinum to diamond, or let you get that last step of getting from diamond to master. So these are the 4 decks that I recommend to finish up your season with. Aside from that, I wish all of you all good luck in the seasonal this weekend. In the seasonal this weekend, it's going to be these 4 decks that you got to plan around, right? So these 4 decks are probably going to be the ones that you see the most often. Maybe not Lee Sin Akshan as much, but you're definitely going to see a lot of Nami TF, and a lot of Nami Lee Sin, a lot of Fiora Pantheon, and a lot of Twisted Fate Swain. So you have to make your lineup either playing these decks or understanding that you're going to have to either ban or beat some of these decks, right? So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind as you prepare. If it was me, I'm definitely going to permaban Nami Lee Sin. I think playing against Nami Lee Sin is asking yourself for trouble. So my best recommendation for you all as you prepare for your seasonal is just permaban Lee Sin or Nami Lee Sin and try to beat the other decks around that instead. So anyways, enough of me rambling. Again, hope you enjoyed the games today. If you did like our video and this content, please be sure to like it below and subscribe to us. We post LR videos every single day. And you can also find us on Twitch at Sirturmund, where we stream 2 to 3 times a week. And you can also find us on Discord and Twitter. The links to those are both in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.